Hello, you just reached MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires. We're currently tying up phone lines and burning through cell minutes to get you closer to the guys on top of the pit boxes, over the wall, and on your radio dial. Your patience while holding is appreciated. Our representatives are working hard to bring you the finest news from the hottest crews on the NASCAR circuit. Thank you for holding. You are now being connected to your hosts, Tony Rizzuti and Kid Cruz.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to the debut edition of MRN Crew Call. We are presented by Hercules Tires. I'm Tony Rizzuti, and I'm joined by a guy next to me who owned the Orlando, Florida airwaves back in the 90s. He broke bands, you may have heard of them, NSYNC, O-Town. He is the one and only Kid Cruz. Welcome to the program, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me and for asking me to do this. It's like a This Is Your Life episode or something. You're like, I love it. It's like a Wikipedia bio you pulled up.
Yeah, kind of. What the folks at home don't know is you and I were in Orlando at the same time, and while we didn't know each other, we tend to be in the same places. That was a good time back then.
The top 40, the pop music, the dance clubs brought us together at that time, and then racing has led us to this.
Yeah,
so
it's crazy. By the way,
crazy world, but that was fun. Those were fun days. Tony in his college years, maybe on next week's episode I can share some stories of your UCF days.
I do not think we need to go there. By the way, this is also the debut of my beard.
Yeah, kind of weird.
It needs a little work, doesn't it? Hey, by the way, if you want to join the conversation, you can join us on Twitter at MRN Radio. Let me say that again. At MRN Radio is where you tweet. Use the hashtag AskMRN. Kid and I, we answer every question. So would love to hear from you guys. Hey, today, Kid, we have a show that one of our guests would call jammed up and jelly tight. I'll tell you who that is here in a second. We'll be making our first crew call today, though, to the crew chief of the number 13 Geico Chevrolet that's driven by Dillon, but we'll be talking to Bootie Barker. That should be some fun. And then
love me some Bootie.
The guy with the quote, Mike Bagley, the bag man, host of Sirius XM NASCAR's The Morning Drive. You hear him on almost every program we have here at MRN.
And one of my favorites when I get to go to the track and kick around the MRN truck.
Baggy's
Breakfast
the best.
with the bag man, you can't beat it.
Yeah, so he'll be on the program. We'll ask him what it's like to climb those billboards and stuff. That'll be pretty cool. Speaking of the track, my friend, you were at Daytona. How was your Daytona day?
It was unbelievable. You know, I get to go and do like the fun stuff, right? I was with some radio stations and some contest winners and taking them all around. I get to show them all the fun things that we do. Got to rub some elbows with the stars. Well, one of them, literally, Vince Neil from Motley Crue, walked by with Chip Ganassi and rubbed my elbow, and I was like, and then he ran away. You know what I got to do though? That was really
That's
cool?
like meeting the fat Elvis. I mean, Vince was just on tour, and I think he put on 10 pounds. Usually it's the other way
I wanted
around,
to ask
right?
him about the Celebrity Apprentice, really. You know, I also got to go down. One thing I hadn't done at the track before is hang out where they have the command. Like I was right in front of Owen Wilson where he gave the command. That was just kind of neat. Off to the side was MRN's Buddy Long with the most famous words in motorsports. He did that kind of thing. And then, of course, Lady Antebellum. You may have heard this on the MRN broadcast. Lady Antebellum was down there doing the pre-race show. So, you know, we got to hang with them, and we'll talk to them a little bit later in the week, too. But I was talking with Charles Kelly and Hillary Scott from Lady Antebellum, and they were just amazed. They're like, this is the largest crowd that I think we've ever played to, like ever, which is pretty impressive. And on this week's Crew Cut, I also talked to Dave Haywood from Lady Antebellum about this really, really cool Daytona 500 guitar that he had.
I know they built me a custom Daytona, logo-based Les Paul Gibson. So it's sweet, yeah, it's awesome. And this song we're playing, "You Look Good," I think is so much fun in an environment like this, in front of, 100,000 people, like Charles said. To have this kind of song is exciting for us and gets the crowd revved up.
Do you get to keep the guitar? They don't want it back, do they?
I sure hope so. I hope I can. I'm going to walk away and see if they say anything about it.
I've had a couple of people ask me since then, did he get to keep the guitar?
Yeah.
I got to text him or something because I honestly don't know. But you can go and check out Lady A's Instagram or even Kid Cruz on Instagram and see the photo of it. It's really cool. But we're actually going to have even more with Lady Antebellum this weekend on NASCAR USA, our weekend country show. If you want to find out where to hear NASCAR USA, just go to MRN.com and look at the stations tab at the top of the page. You can find out where to hear us. We'll talk about their upcoming album, their kids, Lady Antebellum. I just can't get enough. I love them.
Yeah, they're one of my favorite bands, and that'll give fans of them, when they go out on tour to promote this new album, find out if Dave plays the guitar on stage, and they'll be like,
Right.
you know, we heard about that first on MRN Crew Call. That'll be
Yeah.
pretty cool. By the way, if you're not a huge fan of Lady Antebellum, and shame on you if you don't know Lady A song you might know, Need You Now, back in 2010 won 4 Grammys. So I mean, this is a
You with your homework, either serious homework or you're a major fan. But I love it, Tony.
That's
Rizzuti.
right.
That's
Well,
good.
I might ask you how many total Grammys they have later when we play a little game show. Okay, we're going to take our first break here on MRN Crew Call. When we come back, we'll talk to the crew chief of the number 13 Geico Chevrolet. Bootie Barker is next here on MRN Crew Call.
When it comes to safety, nothing is more important than your vehicle's brakes. If it's hard to stop or you hear squealing or grinding noises during braking, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts. You'll find the brake parts you need from trusted brands like Brake Best and Brake Best Select at everyday low prices. Play it safe with brakes from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there. Whether you're running on dirt or running a job, our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
If you have a question or comment about NASCAR, Motor Racing Network has a direct line for you. It's the Fan Forum Hotline.
I'm a newbie to this sport just this year, and I wanted to
I
know.
was wondering when they measure the length of a racetrack.
Call in at 844-4-ASK-MRN. That's 844-4-ASK-MRN.
Wanted to send out a big shout out. Thanks for covering the race.
The Fan Forum Hotline, your connection to NASCAR.
Thank you for holding. Now back to MRN Crew Call with Tony and Kid.
Welcome back to the program. He is Kid Cruz. I'm Tony Rizzuti, and it's time to make our first crew call of the afternoon, and we're going to make it over to the number 13 Geico Chevrolet team. It's driven by Dillon, and the crew chief of that car is Bootie Barker, and he joins us here on MRN Crew Call. Bootie, how are you today?
I'm great. How about y'all?
Man, we're doing great. Hey, Daytona's in the books, but I know as far as a radio broadcast for us here at MRN, it was one of the wildest Daytona 500s we've ever called. What was it like for you as a crew chief of a car in the event?
Well, you know, the whole weekend, from the truck race to the Xfinity race to our race, was it was pretty crazy, you know. And I don't know from a spectator's standpoint, but it was interesting. I mean, to me, how mixed up it was. I think because of the stages and you know, all the things happening. I mean, I wish we wouldn't have got crashed like so many others, but yet and still, from a spectator standpoint, I think it had a lot of elements, like with the guys running out of fuel at the end. So, you know, I hope it was a good show.
Yeah, you talk about those crashes. Unfortunately, you guys got caught up in 2 of them. And I know a lot of the fans, when you look at social media and you listen to some of the talk shows, a little bit confused or wondering about this 5-minute clock. I thought your team maximized that clock probably better than anybody else. But now that you've had a chance to experience it, are you okay with how it is now, or do you think maybe it needs a little bit of tweaking?
No, I think it's okay. I mean, pretty much. I mean, the way I look at these things is, I mean, if your rules are the same for everybody, who cares? You know, everybody's under the same stipulations. So you're right. You had to be prepared. You had to understand what was going on, and you had to be quick, because really at Daytona, the 5-minute clock was equivalent to about 2.5 pace laps. That's all you got.
Yeah.
So you had to move. You know.
Yeah, definitely. Bootie, got a question for you. It's Kid Cruz. So I was down at the Daytona 500. I got to do like fun stuff. You're there like seriously working. I'm there hanging out with celebrities, or trying to anyway, having a good time. When you're at an event like that, I thought of this question because I was looking at Dillon's Instagram, and he has a photo of him talking to Keanu Reeves, and I'm like, how did I miss Keanu Reeves at the Daytona 500? Is there anyone cool that you get to meet, or do you even have time? Are you just way too focused to even notice everything going on around you at the Daytona 500, or do you get to have a little fun too?
Well, really, I'm focused. Really, you know, all that, what's going on around me, I don't, you know, I'm thinking about what we got to do. You know, I'm thinking about we as a team have so much to do to get ready for it, and the details of things we have to do, we can't miss those things. But like the driver crew chief meeting like you say, Keanu Reeves was there. So that's the only reason I would have known, But I don't really, I'll be honest, I don't go out of my way to meet any of them for the most part. I just, get back after it. But I will say, at Sonoma, Arnold Schwarzenegger was there, and I wanted to meet him. So I met Arnold, and he's pretty cool. I like to work out, and he's pretty much king of that. So I mean, he's a cool guy. So I did do that.
Bootie, you got a new driver in the 13 this year in Dillon. He's been successful in every series he's ever been in, but as you know, being in the sport so long, Cup Series is a completely different animal. What do you think the biggest thing is Ty will learn over a full season in the Cup Series?
I don't. Our style of racing is long, but he's done some of these races. I think Ty, with his background, learning from his grandfather, learning from watching his brother, racing himself, I really do believe Ty knows what to expect. And I don't know that his learning curve is going to be so massive because of that. And also, the way we race now is we don't really pace ourselves. We pretty much go wide open, and even more so now with the segments the way they are, paying points. I'm just saying you go all out all the time, and you better make your equipment where it can sustain it. So, I think we'll be fine. I don't think he's going to have to change so much of his style. I think you just go and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, we head to Atlanta this weekend, and this is a track where a lot of people think, the season kind of starts now because it's a 1.5 mile intermediate track. We have so many of those in the schedule. This will be the lower downforce package, and it was reduced even more in the off season. What type of racing do you think we'll see at Atlanta this weekend?
That's a good question. I think we're all waiting to see it. I guess you would think the cars are going to have to move around more, or rather your speed, your corner entry speed, you're going to have to decrease it. You're not going to be able to carry so much speed through the corner. So maybe that allows people to roll up on each other, mix it up a bit more, more. And that's what they wanted to do. So I think you'll have some people fade, things get away from them, get to be a handful, which will be good. You don't want everybody out there just holding it wide open because you just don't pass as much. So maybe I think it'll put on quite possibly a better show. But I think about lap 30 on old tires is going to be evil. But that's what you need, So I think that's what's going to happen.
It's going to be wild. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hey, before we let you go, I know 28th in points last year wasn't what you wanted. What's a realistic goal for the 13 this year?
Realistic is top 20, and if we give Ty what he needs, which we're going to try our best to, I think we got a shot at making the chase.
Well, we appreciate your time. You've always been a good person for us here at MRN, and I know you're super busy, but good luck at Atlanta and good luck the rest of the season with 13 car.
All right. Great to talk to you all. Enjoyed it.
There he is,
right,
Bootie Barker. I love him.
Yeah, fun.
He's one of the best guys. Good guy on radio. He's a good guy on TV. And, Kid, I just kind of felt with Daytona that there's a little bit of momentum now with this 13 team. I expect them to get some top 20s and some top 10s.
Yeah, I'd like to see Ty Dillon do really well. I'm pulling for him.
Yeah,
Let's do it
too. All right, we're going to make a commercial. We're going to take our second crew call of the day. Let's check in with the Bagman. That sound good?
I'm excited
Mike Bagley,
about this.
he's next here on MRN Crew Call.
O'Reilly.
Restore your vehicle's lost power by cleaning your entire fuel system with Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner. Right now, buy one bottle and get one free at O'Reilly Auto Parts, plus get double O Rewards points on your purchase. Keep your engine clean with Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limit supply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Hi, everybody. This is Mike Bagley. Join me every Tuesday night for NASCAR Live. This one-hour interactive show takes you beyond the typical storylines in NASCAR with the stars of the sport.
The celebration's been fun. I mean, afterwards, I guess I didn't leave the track until my 1:30, so I caught it with my crew in South Beach.
NASCAR Live also gives you in-depth analysis with MRN's top personalities.
Because for me, the decisive moment of this championship was when...
Check it out, NASCAR Live, this Tuesday night at 7 Eastern on the Motor Racing Network.
Online and on the air, MRN is live from the track on MRN.com and the MRN app. Check out all MRN race broadcasts, pole qualifying and practices, plus exclusive motorsports programming live on your computer or mobile device. Or go to MRN.com to find your local radio station's online stream. Don't miss a second of NASCAR racing action. Listen live online at MRN.com, the MRN app, or your local station.
I'm sorry, Mr. France isn't available right now. Let me connect you to Tony Rizzuti and Kid Cruz.
We're more than likely to say more than Mr. France anyway, right? We're opinionated.
Well, that's true. We are. I'm keeping my mouth
we
shut
say
on
stuff.
that.
Kid
I'll
Cruz,
save
Tony
the
Rizzuti.
airtime for the bag man.
Yeah, it says it right underneath us, so if you didn't know, that's who we are. A guy that everybody knows is joining us now on the phone line. He's the host of The Morning Drive on Sirius XM Channel 90. He's the host of NASCAR Live here on MRN, and you hear him darn near every weekend at the racetrack. He is Mike Bagley. Bagman, how are you, sir?
Boys, how we doing?
Man, we're doing
fantastic here. Glad to be on the show.
Yeah, we're fantastic too. This is the first time we've done that this season, so we're kind of winging it here. Mike, you've been here, it seems like, for forever. How many years have you been here at MRN, and how'd you get your start?
I am in my 25th year. I'll start year 26 when we go to Daytona for the Coke Zero 400. And actually, this started way long time ago. I was a long-time MRN listener growing up. And we had a local affiliate at the time was WAFL in Milford, Delaware, who I listened to MRN. And, of course, you know, I got the love of motorsports by Dad and Mom taking me to the local short track. And I liked the cars on Saturday night with the dirt and the clay flying. And, you know, eventually they took me to the Monster Mile when I was about 5 years old and just started to love it and was listening to it on the radio. Long story short, started working at that radio station that I used to listen to. I would board up the MRN broadcast and do other things. And one day I wrote a letter to General Manager John McMullen, and I asked him if MRN needed any help at Dover. And he's like, sure. He says, we also could use some help at Pocono and Richmond. So I became a production assistant. And then I started doing PA work at Dover, Daytona, Pocono, and one day we were setting up for a special edition of NASCAR Live, and I was going through and doing the mic checks, and at that time, engineer Clay Stalka told John, you might want to take a listen to this kid. I don't know what they heard, but obviously they liked it enough that one day John picked up the phone and says, hey, you want to do the Busch race at Watkins Glen, the Phase 150? I'm like, sure. That was in June of 1992. For me, it was an atrocious broadcast, but obviously John heard something that he liked. And, as they say, the rest is history, and I'm still here.
Yeah, overnight sensation, right?
many overnight.
See, that's the funny thing. We get so many people that ask us how we got involved, and they think we just like showed up one day and they put us on the air. It's all those little things that you had to do to lead up to this that people don't understand. You got to put in your work. Speaking of work, obviously you're the Swiss Army knife for this network. You host shows, you're in the booth, you work pit road for qualifying and practice sometimes. But what fans most know you for are those play-by-play calls up on the billboards. And you have to climb a long way to get on a scaffold or a billboard. The question I want to know is, what do you do if you have to go to the bathroom, my friend?
You already know the answer to this.
I just want to see how you explain it.
Well, let's just say thank goodness for Gatorade bottles and long caution periods for when those calls of nature take place.
I would say you're a big fan of the stages now, aren't you?
Oh, who you kidding, man? So that caution flag out, climb down, go to pit road for 2 tires, pop back up on that billboard, and you're good to go.
Outstanding.
Hey, Bagman, so obviously got to hang with you a little bit down at the truck and throughout the weekend during the Daytona 500 weekend. One of the cool moments for me that I don't always get to see is when just out of the shadows or behind a bush or something, here comes Greg Biffle, and he comes over to the crew, and he's hanging out for a while. The man is in no hurry because he was joining us on our Xfinity broadcast later that day. But he just shared countless amounts of stories about his career, his opinion, the sport. It was really cool. How often does that happen? Does that happen every race weekend? Because you're there all the time and I'm not.
It doesn't happen as much as it used to, just simply for the fact that there's so many demands on the driver's time. But there are those moments of candidness that do take place. Greg, as you mentioned, isn't driving at all this year, at least not yet. He plans to do so. He came over to the truck, and he gave us a very uncensored, unfiltered take on things. And every now and then, depending on the mood, and if the driver or the crew chief or whoever it is has time, we'll sit down and they'll open up about goings-on within the team, within the shop, within the sport, with them. The cool thing is we get to know them on a professional level, obviously, which is what you hear on the air, but they also open up with a personal level that you don't hear, with those private conversations that are had. They're pretty entertaining, and they're pretty forthright and forthcoming. They do happen. They don't happen as often as I would like them to, but I respect and appreciate the demand that these folks have on their time. When it does happen, though, it's pretty special, as you witnessed. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
Hey, Mike, how's your knowledge of useless trivia? Are you one of those guys that knows everything?
I would say pretty high for him,
You think
probably.
pretty high?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I mean, clearly this is a setup. So lay it on me. What do you got?
What? Us? We wouldn't do that. Well, we're going to play a little game with you 5-on-5 off when we return from this break, and we'll see if you can beat Kid Cruz in a little bit of useless trivia. 5-on-5 off, our new game show, coming up when we return to MRN Crew Call.
Today, Toyota's featured NASCAR fan is Dr. Tom Pierce.
So, Dr. Tom, what's your claim to fame?
Well, due to all of Toyota's NASCAR wins last year, I wrote thousands of doctor's notes for fans for overexcitement hypertension, a condition that requires a day off work to rest.
Sounds like a responsible doctor.
Doctor? I'm not a real doctor, bro. Would a doctor get a guy off work for overexcitement about the new Camry? Because I did.
Let's go NASCAR fans.
Toyota, let's go places. To learn more, visit toyotaracing.com. NASCAR is a registered trademark of the National Association for Stock Car Auto Racing, Inc.
O'Reilly.
When it comes to safety, nothing is more important than your vehicle's brakes. If it's hard to stop or you hear squealing or grinding noises during braking, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts. You'll find the brake parts you need from trusted brands like Brake Best and Brake Best Select at everyday low prices. Play it safe with brakes from O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're smart, got your own trucking business, making it happen. What if I told you there was a place online where you could connect with other smart owner-operators just like you? It's an online community called Team Run Smart, where people share advice on truck maintenance, fuel savings, healthy habits on the road, and so much more, all to make your business more profitable. And it's all free. Visit teamrunsmart.com today to check it out. You'll be glad you did. teamrunsmart.com, brought to you by Freightliner Trucks.
Time now for Motor Racing Network's #1 game show. The game where MRN talent prove their mettle against the unshakable Kid Cruz to see if they've truly earned the right to sit atop the pit box or if they're simply a tool. It's 5-on-5 off on MRN Crew Call.
It is time for MRN's most watched game show, 5-on-5 off. And here's how we play the game, all right? I'm going to ask each one of these guys 5 questions of useless trivia. Now, it's not about who's right, because chances are you're not going to know the answer to these questions. It's going to be who gets closest to the answer. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I have the questions right here. We have Mike on hold, so he can't hear your answer. So this is legit. This is straight up legit.
I'm nervous already. I don't have anything written down, so I don't need it. You're going to open up the envelope and tell us who the best picture goes to.
It's going to be, oddly, I have the questions that says Emma Stone La La Land. So I don't think that's right. All right, kid, you ready?
As ready as I'm ever going to be, I guess.
All right, Robbie Mays, put 45 seconds on the clock, and that time starts now. Kid got to hang with Lady Antebellum at Daytona. How many Grammys has Lady Antebellum won?
6.
6.
I should know that.
Amen Corner at the Masters is made up of 3 holes, 11, 12, and 13. How long is hole number 11 at Augusta National?
245.
Mike loves his Washington Redskins. So, how many playoff wins have the Dallas Cowboys had?
Whoa, wait, huh? Of all time? 75.
Arguably one of the greatest drivers, Ayrton Senna won how many times in Formula One?
13.
And finally, how many letters in the Greek alphabet?
Real quick, 26. I don't know.
Nice job.
It's like 13 or something. I don't know. Wow.
Nice job. Well, we'll find out.
This is embarrassing already.
That's the whole point. Let's bring Bagman back on. Baggy, how you doing, bud? You ready to go?
I am, and you know what? Y'all got a good setup here. Do you remember the old game show Tattletales?
Yes.
Tattletales, for those that don't know, is a game show hosted by Bert Convey, who you took two couples, you'd send one person into this room of seclusion with headphones on, so they couldn't hear the answers given by the other individual. Basically, Tony, you are MRN's Bert Convey right now.
Oh, I like that.
Bert Convey was
now
good.
we need
he's
an
no
isolation
He's
booth.
no Peter Tomarkin, but he was pretty good.
Look at that. Look at it's Game Show 101 here. All right, Baggy, here we go. Again, the object, try to get as close to the answer as you can. We're going to put 45 seconds on the board, and your time starts now. Kid got to hang with Lady Antebellum at Daytona. How many Grammys has Lady Antebellum won?
7.
Aiming corner at the Masters is made up of 3 holes, 11, 12, and 13. How long is hole number 11 at Augusta National?
417 yards.
Mike loves, you love your Washington Redskins. So, how many playoff wins do the Dallas Cowboys have?
I have no idea, and I don't care.
I get that point.
Arguably one of the greatest drivers, Ayrton Senna won how many times in Formula One?
41.
And finally, how many letters are there in the Greek alphabet?
202.
202. That counts. He got in before the buzzer started. All right, let's find out who knows more useless trivia. I think the object here is to actually lose, because if you know this stuff.
Yeah,
I got to question what you do
I'm
at
feeling
night.
pretty good. I think I got this.
All right, let's bring in producer Daryl Smith. Daryl, the first question, Kid got to hang with Lady Antebellum at Daytona. How many Grammys has Lady Antebellum won? Kid said
6.
Mike said
7.
The answer was
6.
How about that on the money?
All right.
Cheating.
See, I thought I confused him earlier by saying that Need You Now won 4. I thought he was going to go with those 4.
I should know that. I would get kicked off NASCAR USA if I didn't know that.
Yeah, the other 2 were for Album of the Year, I think in 11 and 09. Or maybe Song in, I think Run to You in 09 was Song of the Year. Second question, aiming corner at the Masters, 11, 12, and 13. How long is hole number 11? Kid said
245.
Mike said
417.
The correct answer.
455.
455. Mike's on the board. So we got a 1 and 1.
That was, by the way, that was closest to retail price without going over.
You can go over in this one, so it's okay. We got a dogfight here, 1-1. Question 3, we talked about Mike's beloved Washington Redskins. He didn't care to answer the question regarding the Dallas Cowboys, but Kid said
75.
And Mike said
he didn't care.
He didn't care. The correct answer was
33.
Yeah, I think Mike was closer with, didn't care in really 0. So I think you get the point there.
I get the point.
And I think he's happy with that. Are you happy with that, Mike?
I'm absolutely happy with that. Again, do not care.
There you go. This is moving along great. Question 4, Ayrton Senna won how many times in Formula One? Daryl Kidd said
13.
And Mike said
41.
Actual answer?
42.
42. Nice job, Bagman. You forgot that one win at Interlagos in, I think, 81.
An outrage.
Yeah, I have no idea. Final, how many letters in the Greek alphabet? I don't know if either one of you were in a fraternity. Definitely not in a sorority.
No.
Daryl, what did Kid say?
26.
And what did Mike say?
202.
Fellas, the answer was 24. Kid gets the point. He gets the win. But as we said, everybody's a winner here on 5 on 5 off. Mike, before we let you go, we're headed to Atlanta this weekend for the big races. You used to make the ATL your stomping grounds. If a fan is driving in from elsewhere, what's a place they should not miss when they go to Atlanta?
3 places. Number 1, you have to go to the Varsity to get some grease.
What do you have?
Number
What do you
2,
have?
The Rusty Nail, which is on Buford Highway and North Druid Hills Road for the best burger in Atlanta. Number 3, Community Q Barbecue off Claremont for the best barbecue and Southern cooking you will ever put across your palate.
There you go, fans. You got it. I mean, if the Bagman says it, you know it's true. Hey, Mike, I know you've had a busy day already. Thanks for your time, and thanks for joining us here on Crew Call.
My pleasure, boys. Pick up the phone anytime.
There you go.
Thanks, Mike.
What do you think, kid? First show's in the books.
And I won.
We had a lot of.
I won.
1-0.
That's how I rate the show. I won, so I love it. I'll be back next week.
Very nice. We got to hear from Lady A. We heard from Bootie Barker. We got a Bagman drive by.
That was pretty solid. To MRN Crew Call, presented by Hercules Tires. Stream us every Wednesday at noon on MRN.com or on the MRN app. MRN Crew Call is also available on demand in the MRN.com Media Center, on our Facebook page, on YouTube, or download it through iTunes or Google Play. MRN Crew Call is a production of the Motor Racing Network. Goodbye.